How's it going, my true people? DrSlaking, the Slacking Doctor, back with the quarter-final game for the UBL this season as your Bowland Bovines take on UltraPlayer and his West Virginia Miniors, I'm pretty sure is the correct team name. We have played Josh four times. Week 1 of MPL tryouts. MPL tryouts regular season. Round 1 of MPL playoffs. Then week 1 of UBL. And now round 1 of UBL playoffs. So there's a bit of a pattern here. We like to play in week 1 or round 1 of playoffs. We've never beaten them. We are 0-4 versus the West Virginia Miniors. It is not looking good. It is not looking good. But huge shout out to Josh, one of the nicest people in the community. Go and subscribe to him. Check out his channel. I'm a subscriber over there. I love watching him at the minute. He's got the banless league going on with all the broken Ubers that way above my level of comprehension. But yeah, top guy. Top player. Very scary opponent this week. So you may think, well, after such a fantastic season, and thank you all for your support in the UBL this season, we did finish up as the 4th seed, I think. Yeah, we finished up as a 4th seed overall. Josh finished as a 5th seed overall. We were just 1 win off taking that top seed. If we'd won that final game, we would have got the top seed. But regardless, after such a fantastic season, I'm very grateful for all of your support. You may think that, you know, I will have gone all out on prepping for this one. I will have spent the past week doing nothing but team building relentlessly with my unbelievably stacked front office. No. That hasn't happened. I haven't really prepped at all. Basically, I thought we had like another week. I just got it all mixed up in my brain. And Josh messaged me on Friday night. I'm recording this on Saturday, I should say. He messaged me last night saying, hey, how are we going to have a team builder and battles up if we haven't played before Saturday? And I was like, it's this weekend, not next weekend? I thought we had a week off. So yeah, panic very much set in. I whipped the team up in about 5 minutes, genned it, and then we just played. So yeah, this is not a team that anyone looked over. This is not a team that was tested thoroughly in mocks. This was me saying, let's go for it. However, I took one philosophy into this game. I decided that if I was just going to go for it, then we were going to bring HO pretty much. And when I say HO, I mean draft HO, not ladder HO. So just straight offense if you're more of a ladder player. You know, we're not got screens or any of that bullshit. It's just 6 offensive mons. So let's jump into this. Look at Josh's roster. Jeez, I'm going to shut this door because my dog is now barking. Bloody dog. But yeah, we're going to look at this roster because obviously this being a playoff game, I'm going to try and make this a little bit longer than my normal team builders. I might try and talk about things a little bit more extensively than I do usually. If that's not your style, I apologize, but I think for playoffs games, it's worth it, right? So he has a Celesteela, Thunder T, Florges, Lycanroc, Dusk, PZ, Tentacruel, Mesprit, Persian Alola, Pissimian, Steelix, and Mega Sceptile. So very tough team to handle. In particular, you know, I have this dual fighting offense on my team with Pangoro and Infernape, but they don't like Tentacruel, Mesprit plus Florges. That's pretty tough. He has Lycanroc Dusk, which just did me in last time. Shout out to OPJellicent and Irish Emerald, who do a podcast called The Core Enforcers. They run a channel called The Core Enforcers where they have a podcast. They were talking about this matchup in their podcast, and they were saying they didn't see a very easy way of me breaking Celesteela on my draft. Ape kind of wearing itself down with Flare Blitz, and him having good switch into Ape, and yeah, basically Celesteela then being able to wall me defensively, which he also kind of did last time. So yeah, in general, I think our matchup is a little rough. But that's why we're just not going to think. We're going to lead with one mon, click some buttons, sending the second mon, click some buttons, sending the third mon. We're not making doubles, we're not making predictions, we're just clicking offense. We're bringing all the strongest things, doing all the strongest things, and hoping we can watch things die. So with that being said, the first mon on the team is Big Steve. Big Steve is one of the most used mons on our team this season. I was looking at our statistics of this season. Big Steve is joint 2nd most used after Infernape, tied with Diggersby, I believe. And Big Steve just goes really in against this team. Now, I did want a Bullet Punch set Shuckerberry originally, and the last minute, literally, I'm sitting genning my team, and I changed it to have the Ice Punch, and to have no Bullet Punch, and to have the Cobra Berry. Now, why did I make that change? One, because Meteor Mash, Bullet Punch, Thunder Punch, and Pursuit really gets walled very hard by Thundurus, and I wasn't keen on that. I wanted to Bullet Punch the Lycanroc Dusk, but in reality, I'm hoping I can just come in on the Lycanroc Dusk on like a Stone Edge. He will see that I have some kind of Resist Berry, fear it, and switch out, and I can snag him with the Pursuit and get a huge chip off on that thing. I really just want that thing chipped down, and you'll see why. That's my game plan there. Cobalt Berry means that I can take a Crunch from the Lycanroc Dusk or even a Sucker Punch if I see that he's probably not going to switch because he has no good switch into Metagross and he's going to stay in and risk going for like a Sucker Punch or a Crunch. I can go for the Meteor Mash, take it with a Cobalt Berry. The Sugar Berry would have been nice on there for that, for like a Drill Run, but I think his set needs coverage for like Palossand with Crunch, Big Steve with Crunch potentially, as well as like Diggersby and Pangoro with like Brick Break, as well as like Priority for Sharpedo with a Cell Rock. So I just feel like he has severe Fall Move Slot Syndrome in this game, and I don't think Drill Run covers anything other than the Metagross, which also gets hit by Crunch for the Palossand. So to my mind, it's unlikely to be running that. Now, I did also like the Sugar Berry for the Sceptile. However, I could easily see Sceptile being a special set in this game, and so, again, I wasn't sure if it was really worth it. Other than that, it's just nice for like a Persimmon knockoff or something like that. I do wish we could have fit Zen Headbutt on this set, but I really wanted the Thunder Punch to be able to hit the Celesteela, and that means I can hit the Tentacruel at least as well, and then Ice Punch to be able to hit the only other immunity or resist in the Thundurus, as I mentioned earlier. So yeah, this set is really like a bulky Wall Breaker set, even though it seems weird because it's running a Resist Berry and like a ton of HP. I do have my sets open so that I can... No, I don't have my sets open so that I can see them. I close them. What a fool. Hopefully I can just open them through this. I can. Yeah, so we had like a bunch of HP, but we were just max attack adamant as well. A little bit of speed, but not too much. So this thing is really just a bulky Wall Breaker on the team, designed to kind of come in on the Lycanroc and trap it potentially. Then, the second mon on the team does a very similar job in Onigawara. Like I said, this is offense, and it is bulky offense at the minute, but it is offense. This thing is here with the Chopal Berry again, so I can come in on that Lycanroc. Now the Lycanroc's got to think, right, do I click Crunch with a potential Pangoro coming in? Do I click Brick Break with potential Metagross coming in, / Palossand if I have that on the build, or any other kind of fighting resist? So it's really, really pressured, because I do not want to lose to Lycanroc twice in a row. And then we can Drain Punch it all back. The Chopal Berry means we take the Brick Break with ease, and we bring it all back with the Iron Fist boosted Drain Punch. Again, this thing is basically max HP, max attack adamant. I don't like running those sets very often. We do have a little bit of speed on it, but for the most part, this thing is just built to come in and just Wall Break. Just fire off Drain Punches. Thunder Punch can hit the Celesteela really, really well. Knockoff will get rid of Thundurus's potential Scarf. If it is Z, it's still going to take a lot from Pangoro. Knockoff, it's still going to do a decent chunk. And of course, Gunk Chuck on there for the Florges is going to do like 80-odd% to Florges, I think. So that thing is going to get nukes. Mesprit won't like the knockoff, and T-Punch will also hit the Tentacruel. If we get burnt with a Scold, that's going to be really, really bad. But like I say, we're never switching. We're just staying in and attacking whatever the hell is in front of us. So that's the plan with Onigawara here. Moving on to the third mon, we do have Crystal the Palossand. So now you can see, one way or another, I'm beating that Lycanroc Dusk, but the other one that was a huge problem in the first game was the Porygon Z being able to nuke me with a Z Hyper Beam. So this way he can't bring that anymore. I didn't bring Cofagrigus that we had on the draft earlier in the season. I do think his prep has to have changed because of those trades, because I've brought in Palossand instead of Cofagrigus. Thundurus looks very weird, Lycanroc looks very weird, Porygon Z looks kind of similar, but also the Sharpedo means that I think he has to prep around Sharpedo. I have swept quite a few people, or at least have picked up cleaning kills with Sharpedo a few times this season, so I think he has to fear that. Something like Ice Fang, Liquidation, Crunch would pretty much hit his whole team. Earthquake, Ice Fang, Liquidation, Crunch, Earthquake, I think would hit his whole team. Which is why I could see the Lycanroc needing the Cell Rock, which is why I could see, you know, various other things coming to kind of deter that. So with this here, we can really kind of pressure things like the Thundurus, like the Porygon Z that could be Scarf, and I think the Thundurus especially could be Scarf. And having a good, reliable ground type that I'm not afraid switching to the Thundurus is fantastic. Now with the Rindo Berry on here, we are basically just Fizz Death on this set. With the negative speed nature, as you can see, we're rocking that Rock Tomb. Because basically, like, the Rindo Berry means that I'll take a Grass Knot pretty easily, even without Speed Death from the Thundurus, if he wants to be going for that. And I can Rock Tomb him and basically make him slower than Infernape, and then I can bring Infernape in and always Revenge Kill and get a powerful hit off. I haven't got the Infernape, I'm realizing as I say that, we'll get there later. But yeah, basically I can just slow down the Thundurus and put it in range of Stealth Rocks, or put it in range of one of my Breakers to come in and absolutely nuke something. It also doubles up for helping with the Mega Sceptile, slowing that down to be slower than things like Infernape that I've just mentioned, which could be really, really useful. And in general, this thing also helps out with like Scarf Persimmon or something like that, that might want to try and get a Defiant boost or something like that on me and scarf into like close combat maybe. So this thing just in general I think can do a good job here, but primarily it's here for the Thunderous plus the Mega Sceptile. Can also maybe help with a potential Celesteela that could be like Autotomized Giga Drain, for example, as a set that I figured could come. Potentially Rock Tombing that down and slowing it down could be really useful depending on his set and how much HP he's at the time. So anyway, moving on to the fourth mon on the team, we do now have the Infernape. So you can see here we are a Choice Band Flare Blitz. None of this Iron Fist that I messed around with last time with the T-Punch on this Infernape. This time we're just going for damage. We're going Blaze, Flare Blitz, Earthquake, Gunk Shot, Mach Punch. Basically, Flare Blitz plus Earthquake hits his whole team. Just, I mean, Celesteela, fire. Thunderous, fire. Florges, fire. Lycanroc, ground. Porygon, fire, or ground, doesn't really matter, but fire stab, obviously. Tentacruel, ground. Mesprit, fire. Persian, fire. Persimmon, fire. Steelix, fire. Mega Sceptile, essentially fire. So like nothing on his team resists that fire plus ground coverage. It just blows through him really well. So yeah, why not? Let's just click buttons and watch things die essentially. And that's why I feel like if I can slow down the Thunderous, if it is a Scarf set, to be slower than this, or I can slow down that Mega Sceptile especially to be slower than this, and then bring this into Revenge Kill those things, suddenly it's like, okay, you have to sack something here, and hopefully it'll be one of those offensive powerhouses. You just stay in and let me take them from you. The Banded Mach Punch is on here to pick off the Mega Sceptile because that thing does cause me some problems at the minute. This being a very offensive team but so far very slow means that Mega Sceptile is a huge threat. So that Mach Punch, hopefully we can just pick that off potentially, but I do have to be very wary of potential like Thunderous setting up on me with Agility Nasty Plot if I'm banded into Mach Punch, or maybe Tentacruel coming in, Rapid Spinning and T-Spiking on me, shenanigans like that. So I do have to be careful when clicking that, but in general I think it's a good move, and Gunk Shot is just on there as coverage for the Florges. Again, I'm just going to be clicking Flare Blitz and Earthquake realistically, but you've got to have 4 moves, haven't you? So sod it. Then on the penultimate mon team, we have Raiza, and that's why I speak about that Rapid Spin on the Tentacruel, which I should go back a couple of slots actually, because I should mention this thing has no recovery. Palisand, no recovery, because this is not a defensive team. Yes, this thing is built bulky, but it is just a support mon. It is just literally Rock Tomb some stuff, get rocks up, click Toxic, die. Like, I don't want this thing on the field for more than 3 turns. I don't want it to stick around. I don't want it to get set up on. All I wanted to do is click Rock Tomb, Toxic, and Stealth Rocks. I hope I never even click Earth Power. Like, it's just here to get rocks up essentially and be a deterrent in terms of him spamming Thunderbolt and things like that against my team. So yeah, sorry, moving on from the Infernape next, we have the Spike setting Raiza, the Mega Glalie. So combined with that Stealth Rocker and Palisand, I just want to Hazard Stack. So I don't care what I see at Team Preview tomorrow, I'm leading off with the Glalie and I'm clicking Spikes turn 1. I don't care if he leads with Thunderous and Fire Team Z's me. I don't care if he leads with Persimmon and Scarf Close Combats me. I am leading with this and I'm clicking Spikes. I'm not thinking twice because I'm just getting them up. Like, hazards are going up in this game, and if it happens to be something slower than me, which I think is probably likely, then I'm clicking Explosion. I'm just going to get as many hazards up as I think I can get away with, and then I'm going boom on him. And hopefully I can pressure the Tentacruel well enough if it does come with my team to stop him from defogging. The other option would be Florges, so I need to keep the offensive pressure on that. If it's defog Thunder T, then, I mean, that thing wasting a turn to click defog is fantastic for me. So really it's the Tentacruel and Florges that I'm especially concerned about, just attacking at all times, making sure that if they get hazards down for whatever reason, they also take like they basically die in the process. So that's the plan here, just really pressure with this thing, hopefully pick up a KO, and if not, just really pressure with the hazard stack. Offense loves hazard stack. And our final mon on the team, loves it more than any other, as we are rocking out with Warren, Double Dance, SD Agility, and what is that funky looking item Warren has there? That's the weakness policy. I don't think ever ran a weakness policy. Certainly I might have done it at some point, but like I haven't in the UBL this season. I don't run it often. It's not an item that I have a vast amount of faith in. But this time I was like, alright, how am I cleaning up this game? And look, Sharpedo sounded great, right? I could just run those 4 attacks that I said, but you really want Protect, you really want to Scout for Scarf Thunder, you really want this, you really want that. And I was like, and a Cell Rock from Lycanroc, and all these things were going through my head. And I thought, you know what? That's very obvious. Like, he could run Resist Berries, he could run like Shucker on the Tentacruel, he could run like Pasha on the Steelix, there's various things. Sure, he's probably not going to prep for, a +4 attack, +2 speed Diggersby. If I can get the Double Dance off on this thing, everything's dying. Return hits his whole team, barring the Celesteela and the Lycanroc Dusk.
Fire Punch hits the other 2, and I mentioned wanting to get that Lycanroc Dusk hits the Celesteela. The Lycanroc Dusk, of course, I hit for resisted damage either way, but that's why I have Pursuit on Metagross, because if I can trap that thing and get maybe, I don't know, 70% off with a Pursuit, for example, then suddenly this thing will destroy that thing with a +4 return. Hell yeah, it's going in. Even if I only get to +2, if I can just get my Weakness Policy popped and Agility off, hey, that's free kills. That's free kills. I don't think Sceptile likes taking on at +2. I think after Rocks, that thing dies. Steelix will more than likely die if I've got some chip off on that. Bear in mind, if I've got 3 layers of spikes and Stealth Rocks up, nothing is taking it, barring maybe a Resist Berry and a really Fizz Death set. So, yeah, Warren is here. I have to position this thing so carefully, because looking at his team, the things I can actually set up on, I can take a Grass Knot / a Hidden Power Ice from Thunderous T, and that's probably my primary hope. I could take like an Ice Beam or something from Porygon, maybe, depending on what item he was. I could take a Scold from Tentacruel, but that is risky, because if he burns me, then my set's hugely neutered. Well, it's not hugely neutered, but, you know, it kind of balances out the Weakness Policy. And a Mesprit with Ice Beam or Energy Ball is kind of the other option. So I cannot take hits from Mega Sceptile unless it's like some weird set, some bulky type shit, I don't know. So for the most part, I'm looking at that Thundy T and I'm looking at that Mesprit, and I'm going to try and abuse one of those two to get my Weakness Policy popped. Worst case scenario, Diggersby still is a fantastically strong Pokemon, and if we can get a +2 speed off, we might be able to clean regardless. So that is the team going into this. I apologize if this video was rambly or whatever. I'm going to be straight with you guys. I've had like 4 hours sleep and done like 7 hours driving today, so I'm going to bed now. I'm going to bed, but hopefully this goes up tonight. Hopefully this goes up on Saturday, the 24th. You guys get to see this before the game tomorrow. Obviously, we have already played the game and stuff, so trust me, it is a very, very entertaining game. You want to be subscribed to not only myself, but also UltraPlayer to be able to see his side of that game too. So thank you so much for looking around with me, guys, and I'll catch you again next time.